Dear students, Assalamu alaikum to all of you in 12th class botany. Before this, I have given you one introductory lecture, and in that lecture, we have discussed what is ecology, what is environment, what is habitat, and what is niche. And in that lecture, I have told you that as per ecology is concerned, it is the scientific study of relationship between organism and their environment, habitat, habit, and I have told you that it means household study. So, collectively, we can say the interactions can be studied at various levels of organizations in the world. So, in that lecture, I have told all you that what is environment also, and in case of environment, I have discussed that environment is anything physical, chemical, and biotic, abiotic conditions in which living and non-living are included. Biotic and abiotic. Then I have told you that what is habitat, and about habitat I have told you that everything around us, everywhere, or we can say something which grows or which lives in our surrounding, air, plants, earth, water, everything. And habitat is the environment where a living thing can grow and survives. For example, forests, oceans, deserts are all examples of habitat. Then there I have discussed niche. About niche, I have told you that the part of a habitat where a living thing makes its home. Then when it was all about ecology. So today's lecture is concerned with this topic because today we have to discuss what are ecological adaptations. As for ecology is concerned, it is the relationship between organism to its environment. That, and adaptation, as for adaptation is concerned, when we live in any environment, if there occurs any change, we try to adjust ourselves depending upon the changes and prepare our mind for survival. Now we can say it is the attribute of, of an organism that enables him to survive and to reproduce in its habitat. So the features and character, or we can say characteristics, which help an organism to adjust in his habitat to survive can be morphological. As for structure, we can say structural. Next is behavioral, and these features can be physiological. So in case I will quote here the example of we will quote here the example of a kangaroo rat. So where are these kangaroo rat found? We know that this kangaroo rat is found in North American desert. So in that desert, they have water demand. So they need water for their survival. So North American deserts have lack of water. So how they will get water in this arid, or we can say dry condition? Now they have adopted internal fat oxidation. It means that in their body that releases water. It means that it comes in adaptation. And next adaptation is that they make their urine concentrated, and by which they enable themselves for the survival. And secondly, we will take the example of a plant of dry area, for example cactus, or we can say opensia. When we see their leaves, they have a cuticle, that is type of a waxy layer which prevents loss of water. Their stomata is sunken, and their stomata have deep pits. Their stomata is only open in daytime for exchange of gases. Then they close their stomata, which prevents loss of water. Then there is KM pathway. So in case of open Shia, leaves are reduced to form spines. These spines reduce the surface area to prevent loss of water. Then there is colder climate. Next example of mammals. Smaller animals are not found in colder climate because these organisms have ear and limbs small. So we can say surface tension S is inversely proportional to 1 by V. It means that when we talk in respect of volume, if their surface area is more, then volume is low. If volume is more, surface area is low. So smaller animals have more surface area. So the more the surface area, the more heat loss from the body. Now there is a rule which we call which is given as name as Allen's rule. So what is Allen's rule? Allen's rule states that colder climatic conditions have generally shorter ears and limbs. So then there are seals. These are the examples which are quoted in your NCERT. So as per seals are concerned, these seals are aquatic animals. They have a fat layer present in them beneath the skin, which is called as blubber. So this blubber works as an insulator and prevents loss of heat in their body. Now there are adaptations based on physiological features by which organisms respond to stressful conditions quickly. For example, in altitude sickness. Uh, this in case of altitude sickness, I will quote here the example that when we suffer from plain to hilly area, we feel heart palpitation, we feel our breathing rate increases. It means that we feel a specific condition because hilly areas has a low atmospheric pressure by which our body feels lack of oxygen, and we feel increasing breathing rate. It means that decrease our we are our oxygen we feel decreasing oxygen binding affinity with hemoglobin. So there are different ways of adaptations for different organisms. For example, when we talk of behavioral response, we can quote the example of a desert lizard. When in case of desert lizard, when temperature decreases, it traps heat from sun, and when it feels internal temperature is very high, then it goes back to its coldest place in burrow. But we have to remember that these desert lizards have not homeostasis. So what is homeostasis? Homeostasis is such a condition in warm blooded organisms which maintain their internal environment according to the external environment. So as for these interactions are concerned, we know that there are more elements which are adopted by organisms. So we can say here importance of light to plants. So we know that Every plant needs sunlight for its food formation. So sunlight acts as the ultimate source of energy for plants. Because we know that plants are autotrophic, we need light and which need light for carrying out the process of food formation. So light also plays an important role in generating photoperiodic responses which are occurring in plants. Plants also respond to changes in intensity of light during various seasons to meet their photoperiodic requirements for flowering. So, light also plays an important role in aquatic habitats for vertical distribution of plants in the sea. So, then there is effect of temperature, for which I have given you the example of this desert lizard. So, it was all about your ecological adaptation. Thank you so much.